welcome to A Cup of Conversation on BRT2 TV. My name is John Ghazi, and in the studio today I have a special guest. His name is Danny McDermid, and he is a photographer here in the TRNC, and we'll be talking about his art, his profession of photography, and about his life here on the island of Cyprus. So first of all, Danny, welcome to the programme.
Thank you very much, nice to be here.
Nice to have you here. Thank you for agreeing to join us at last minute notice here in the studios. I know you're a very busy man, taking photographs, and thank you for taking time out today to come to Bayrak Studios in Lefkoşa. Now, before we talk about your photography and your website and your page and your work, let's find out a bit more about you. Now, I guess, and from your accent and from the name Tartan, you are originally from Scotland.
I am, yes. I'm originally from Scotland. I was actually born in Glasgow, but I was actually brought up in a place called Arbroath, which is on the east coast of Scotland. So I do say that I come from Arbroath in Scotland, yes. And
you have a military background, is that right?
I do, yes. I joined the military when I was the British Army at the time, when I was 15, went there after school. And then I spent 32 years in the army, and then I retired from the army, and I'm living full-time now in Cyprus.
So you've been here full-time on the island for about a couple of years, but you've obviously had connections with Cyprus before, because I know that you, being in the army, in the British Armed Forces, you actually were stationed here, weren't you, on the island years ago?
Yes, I was very fortunate to have three postings, as we call them, to Cyprus. One in the 80s, one in the 90s, and one in the 2000s. So it's nice to see, how the island's developed over the years. And it's a beautiful, beautiful island. Love it.
So 3 separate postings
yes.
to Cyprus.
Yes.
When was the first time you arrived? What year in the 80s?
1984.
84?
September the 17th, 1984.
Oh, you remember the date?
I remember the date, yeah.
Wow. And so how long was that posting, the original posting there?
That was for just over a year. That was. I got another job to go to early. I should have been 2 years, but I got cut short by a year because I got another job that I had to go and do some courses, and so that was just for a year that time. But it was fantastic, yeah, loved it.
And you were based in Decatur?
I was based in Decatur, yeah, yeah.
So was that really, do you think, looking back now, back in the 80s when you first, and now where you are all these years later, did you subconsciously think that you'd ever live on the island as a home?
Well, back then I was only 18, so I was just starting my army career. It's my first army posting from training. Yeah. I never thought that I'd end up here full time, but I know I did fall in love with the island as soon as I arrived. I love the climate, I love the people, I love the culture, I love the values they have, I've always had a love for Cyprus.
I know you're based now, you have a permanent home in the Guinea area.
Yes.
And obviously, you're working around the island with your photography. Have you seen, you came back in the 90s and again in the 2000s, so obviously you've seen a change on the islands since...
I have. There's certain parts of the island that have been more developed than not. For instance, I'd love to have taken 2 photographs. The 2 photographs I'd like to have taken in the 80s is one of the harbour at Paphos and one the harbour at Gurney. Because the one has really stayed the test of time, in my opinion, and it's still a beautiful, quaint and very historical harbour, whereas the other one, it's possibly been a little more commercial. What I think it would be nice to say, I think people agree it's very more touristy or orientated at Paphos Island, the harbour there now. It's still a beautiful place, Paphos itself, but just, it's nice not to see McDonald's signs, KFC signs. It's nice not to see that. So I have seen most definitely the 2 sets, different parts of the island develop in the 30-odd years, yeah, definitely.
You had a military career and now you are retired. So where does photography, or how did photography come into your life?
All right. I love the art and the aspect of what you can do with the camera. And you can just take a photograph and you can just enjoy just looking at a photograph. And it's great that if I enjoy looking at a photograph and if I can take a photograph for somebody else, to enjoy that photograph and possibly hang it on the wall and enjoy it that way, that's fantastic. And that's why I love about the photograph. And it's a pleasing job to do compared to the job that I had past. It's a lot more relaxing in certain times. I'm just going to take photos for fun. Yeah, you know, it's great, and I do enjoy what you get from photographs. I mean, last week I got a message from a bride that I'd photographed this year, and she sent me a photograph. And the photograph was one of my photographs that she had blown up in a frame or a wall and saying thank you very much. And that for me is fantastic. And it's beautiful that she can now, for the rest of her life, hopefully, her and her new husband can enjoy that photograph in the living room and remember the beautiful time that they had in Cyprus, because they are back in UK now.
Amazing. I mean, it is nice to have that feeling that, you know, what you produce, somebody else appreciates and is, as you say, up on the wall at home, forever a memory of theirs that you captured for them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of people like taking photographs, especially now with social media. I mean, we've got Facebook, we've got Instagram, where, you know, selfies galore and, you know, photographs galore. You know, we're encouraged to take photographs, but not everyone obviously takes it to the next step and make it a sort of semi-professional, you know, job. But did you ever, I mean, when you were thinking of retiring, did you say, when I retire, I will now, you know, continue my love for, my passion for photography and make it into a career?
Oh yeah, definitely. It was a long-term plan. I mean, before, I knew I was wanting to get out of the army. I was wanting to leave. And you may not be aware, but there was a whole round of redundancies, and I tried to get made redundant. Unfortunately, they wouldn't let me go, so they kept me in, so I had to resign in the end. But during that time, I then went back to school, went back to night school, and I spent 2 years at Farnborough College. Went back and done my A level, sorry. Went down. I went also done other courses in Newcastle, in Bournemouth, in London, because I knew that's what I was wanting to do when I was going to get out of the army. So for 4 or 5 years before I got out of the army, I started to train heavily in doing it, and then I was doing it semi-professional. In between work, I was doing weddings. I was doing you know, photo shoots for people, and so that's when I started doing it really seriously. But I have been taking. Well, I got my first decent camera really 8 years ago, and started taking photographs then, practice, and then really went on the surge for the last 5, 6 years, and went back to school and learned how to do it properly.
You call yourself, what is it, the Tartan Heart Photography?
Yes.
And that's how we can find your Facebook page as well, and you know, your own page has, you know, your own name has got Tartan Heart behind it as well. Yes. Obviously, your links with Scotland. Here in North Cyprus, the industry of, you know, weddings and people coming over from abroad, especially from the UK, to get married here. People might have links here. They might like the Mediterranean you know, island, the beauty of this island.
Yes.
Now that sort of wedding package is becoming more and more popular. And I know that you work with some wedding organisers, wedding planners, don't you?
That's right, yeah. I mean, it's a massive avenue for people to come across to Cyprus and to get married. The cost of getting married in UK is so expensive, and for what you get from it. I mean, a lot of people are now tying in a holiday with the wedding, and it saves them a lot of money, because people pay to come themselves and they have to pay for that, and they get a holiday, and financially it makes people save money, and also it's the dream of having a beautiful. If you know that on the 26th of July next year it's going to be glorious sunshine for your wedding day. If I'm getting married in Arbroath, I don't know what the weather's going to be like on 26th of July next year. Yeah. So the bride knows exactly what weather she's going to get if they book it in that summer period. And it's every bride's dream really to get married in beautiful sunshine, beautiful day. And it's you know, that's what they do. And there's an interesting fact about it. All the time I've been doing wedding photography, and the bookings that I've had, not one male has booked me. Every single booking has been the bride.
Yeah.
And that's I find that incredible. I'm still waiting for the first guy to come and book me for a wedding. They might discuss it with the husband, but it's always the bride who does the chat. It just, I'll speak to my partner, but the booking always comes through as the bride.
I think maybe women are more in tune with the finer details of the wedding.
Definitely.
Planning, you know, the photographer, the decorations, the flowers, whereas the guy just wants to get his suit on and get married, and that's it.
And he wants to make her happy. He wants to make her dream wedding, so he's happy to go along with what they want.
Yeah, so. As long as the wife's happy with what's going on, then the man's happy as well. But as you say, you know, the bride can be guaranteed, you know, almost perfect weather for a summer holiday and a summer wedding here. Because you are, you know, familiar with the whole island. I know that you know, you've taken photographs of, you know, weddings north and south of the border, everywhere. Yes. Is there a particular favourite location of yours? I mean, is it by the sea? Is it up at a historical site? Is there a sort of a location where you think, wow, this is a really good setting?
Well, there is.
I can't, many of them.
There's lots of different settings you can have. There's some beautiful locations. I have beautiful beaches and in the Ayanapa area, the beautiful sands there are beautiful. But if you were to say to me, what would you recommend for an ideal wedding? I can't get past Bella Pays Abbey. I mean, it's a 13th century, beautiful, stunning building, the ruins building, whatever you want to call it. And it's just absolutely delightful. And for people to go up there and get married, and the photographs for me as a photographer that I can get from there, you know, they're just fantastic. But that's not every bride's dream. Some bride's dream is to get married on the beach. So they want to get married with their feet in the water and do it, and that's what. So if that's their dream, then that's not going to happen in Bella Pays. It's halfway up a mountain. So it's whatever what the bride and the groom want. But for me, if you were to have a recommendation for a location, is Bella Pays Abbey is just superb. And you know, I was up there the other day doing a photo shoot for an album cover, and the person there, she's a wedding planner as such, and she couldn't believe how beautiful it is as well. And
it really is a favourite location amongst wedding planners and those coming from abroad. You know, I think because of the fact that it's up there in the mountains with great views, stunning views of Kyrenia below, you know, Guinea below, and of course the Mediterranean Sea, and because of the ambience of the location, you know, the ruins are fabulous. You've got the grounds, and you've got the ruins, as you say. Is it easy for you to? I mean, okay, each wedding is different, and so one bride and groom won't see another bride and groom's photographs. But for you to find something new, a different angle, is it? I mean, or is every wedding for you always different?
No, every wedding is always different. There are some standard shots. There's some locations within the abbey that you can get a really good shot. There's a shot where I sit in a corner of the abbey and I get both. We use a wide-angle lens and I get both of the structures of the buildings and the roof and turn that a nice black and white. And that's just a fantastic shot. Now it's nice if you do it for one bride, but every bride would sort of want that, and bride and groom would want that shot. So it's a standard shot that'll do for most couples, every couple that goes in there really, because they can have that. And normally find that's the one that they'll use as a blown up for that. But then whenever I do a wedding, I always try to get a couple of killer shots. Every wedding you try to get a couple of shots that's just really different, that's just unique to that wedding. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So whenever I go to a wedding, I don't go with the attitude of, oh, here we go, another wedding, so you stand there, I stand here, we take this photograph, we'll go to the next one. You've always got to try to better yourself. You've always got to try and develop, and you've always got to try and get a different photograph from my portfolio. Because if you don't improve your portfolio, and people think, well, you took that photograph in 5 years ago and he's not moved on since then. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
so you've got to keep fresh, you've got to keep up, and that's what gives me a spark to go to work, shall we say, when we do photography, is to make sure to try for me to get that different shot every time I go and do a shoot, and get that, you know, and that's what I like to do.
As you quite rightly say, I mean, if you've got a portfolio and each photograph's the same at each wedding, or you haven't developed, well, people say, well, you know, you're not really imaginative, let's say.
That's right.
Not using, you know, you're just doing it for the sake of doing it and not really putting yourself into it. Which I think a good photographer, you know, gets in with the party, with the atmosphere of the wedding, and then, as you say, maybe get one or two really good killer shots so that, you know, everyone just goes crazy over. Yeah. So,
and the other thing is to liaise with the bride and groom what they want. You ask them for their ideas. I mean, you know, the internet is massive nowadays, as we all know, and it's a case of they go in, because they're all excited about their wedding, they'll go and look at wedding photographs and they'll think, oh, I love that. You know, like the one I tend to get asked to do is the heart. I get the people to stand in a heart shape and I get a photograph of the heart. And people like that, something that's a bit different. And, you know, luckily enough, it sinks in with Tartan Heart Photography. And I've started doing that, and the brides keep recommending, ask, can we have? And so I keep doing it for them. But they come up with ideas that they've seen and they think, can we have that? And I've got to incorporate that for them and give them that shot and make it special for them.
I have seen your work, and we are putting every now and then on during this interview, we are showing some of your photographs that you've sent to us. I have to say, some of the images look like paintings, very vivid colours, quite unlike the photography that I am used to seeing, especially when you think of wedding photography, quite sort of like, you know, very romantic, very subtle colours, but you actually use very vivid, in some ways, quite surreal pictures as well, imagery. The way you compose your photographs.
Okay.
Is that something that is, something that's, typical of you, your imagination, and what you want to share?
I'd like to think it is, and it's nice when people recognise my photographs,
Yeah.
and they say that's one of Danny McDermid's because of the colours that I put in there. I do love the bright colours you get in Cyprus. I do love the colours that you can enhance, and I do a lot of work post-processing for that to get the colours in there. And because it's such a bright, beautiful country, if I can enhance and bring all the colours and make sure they come out, then yes, I do like to do that. And it is something. It's something that's associated with my work. Yes, definitely. And
I think so. I think definitely you could say, this is a Danny McDermid photograph. For instance, at the moment we can see a photograph. Again, it looks very, very unusual. You've got the sunset in the background, you've got the sea, and the couple in the corner. It looks superimposed, or it looks very, very, like I say, quite unusual to a normal, very subtle, very regular wedding photograph. They are beautiful, I have to say. They're very
Thank you.
effective.
Yeah, that was taken up in Alison Jack. That was taken there, and it's not superimposed. The couple were there. It's a thing they call trash the dress. It's when they get married on one day, then they'll come the next day, and we'll go down the beach and we'll get a dress in the water, and we do that. And it's nice just to pull the colours up and enhance the colour of the sunshine, and they get the reflection on the water. And I enjoyed that photograph, and thankfully the couple that I'd done it for, they were very, very happy with it, which is nice.
They should be happy with it. Also, we can see, this is quite unusual, photographs of lightning.
Yes.
The sky and clouds and sky and sunsets are very, very powerful. And very popular amongst photographers, to capture that special moment. I mean, I love any photograph to do with sky. I'm always pressing the like button when any friend takes a photograph like that. But you've taken a fantastic photograph of lightning. Now, was this something that you unexpectedly caught, or were you waiting for this shot?
It was a deliberate shoot. That was taken over at Larnaca Bay in Decalia, and up in the hill. And it's a 30-second exposure. And when you shoot for you get some amazing lightning storms in Cyprus to start off with, and it's always fantastic to shoot a lightning storm. And it is a bit of luck and a bit of timing, and having the camera pointed in the right place, and trying to work out where the storm's coming and how it's coming in. But that shot there, that was taken in Larnaca Bay, it was shot. I had the exposures already set for it, and the aperture, and it came, but. I try to tell people this is amazing, but actually that bolt of lightning was even bigger than that. That bolt of lightning you can see in that photograph, that was left, it went right, and it came right over the top of my head. And that would, if I was 5 miles back and got that whole photograph, that would be an amazing, amazing photograph. So that part there, that you see there, is only a quarter of what really happened on that explosion of lightning, and it was amazing.
Fantastic. I think that, a dedicated photographer really knows the right moment and the right times, the right photographs to take. Now, this next photograph that I'm seeing caught my attention quite a lot, because it looks like a fashion shoot, or it looks like it could be a model on the front page of a magazine. But actually, this is a special shoot, isn't it? Now, this is obviously in Cyprus, yes?
Yes, that's up in Bovovento, sorry if I said it wrong, the castle.
Yeah, Bovovento Castle. Yeah, I recognise that, and the Mazoria plains in the background.
Yeah.
Who is our model, by the way?
That is a young lady who was actually a bride. It was actually an engagement shoot that we were doing up there, an engagement shoot and video that we went up there, which was really nice. Walk up with 25 kilograms on my back and walk up. Brought me back to my army days, carrying all that pack up to there. Went up there, and we done that. And I actually asked them if she would mind modelling that, because I'm doing a calendar for the Scottish Cyprus Society, the Caledonian Society of Scotland. They've asked me to do a calendar for them for 2016, and try and get the feel of Cyprus and Scotland together. And so with having the girl in the tartan dress and the beautiful backdrop looking over Cyprus, that's one of the connections I was trying to get with the photograph.
Right.
So it's not just a Scottish person, but it's a Scotland and Cyprus together. So I've got a whole host of photographs to do for the calendar.
I mean, I know there are societies here on the island, you know, Scottish societies. I know you celebrate Burns Night here
We
and
do,
everything.
yeah.
But this unusual idea for Canada to bring Scotland and Cyprus together, I mean...
Yeah, well, you know, it was my idea. Because I love Scotland, my country, and I love Cyprus, and they asked me, could I do something for the society? I said, well, I'll put a calendar together for you. So I've got I've also got guys in kilts. Don't get me wrong, it's not sexist, not just all females. But that young lady's a lady called Dookie, and she's actually from Singapore, and she's a beautiful lady, and you know, I'd done their wedding at the church and at the Figaro, which is a fantastic location as well, and yeah, and she very happily, gladly agreed to do it, and I got that photograph up there, and I just love the scenery behind her. It's just beautiful, just miles and miles and miles of beautiful Cyprus.
Yeah, fantastic. It's a lovely area. So really, you've travelled quite a way around the island. I mean, to go up to Bovavento, obviously Peloponnese is quite easy accessible, but you know, Bovavento is not really an easy place to you know, get to. Driving up there in your car and parking and
taking all your stuff.
I mean, obviously the end result, fantastic.
Thank you.
You know, I really think your photographs are really good. There was one picture where I think is it a bride and she's doing her makeup.
Yes.
One of the photographs, I think. I'm not sure. We are showing these photographs as we speak, but
that's actually the same lady that was in the water with the sunset.
Right. Okay.
So that was taken at our villa, where she was getting ready. Most, not all weddings are the same, but most people would like a photographer to come for bridal prep through to first dance. So that's part of her bridal prep, and she's a beautiful lady. And that's just one of the walls in the living room. And I just got to hold the brush as she was getting her makeup done, and she's just beautiful. And I just thought it came out really nice.
It looked like to me, again, I mean, the quality of the photography is amazing.
Oh, thank you.
The reason why I'm saying that is because it's not just like as if, you know, okay, there are some brilliant photographers out there who capture amazing moments, very natural, you know, a smile, a look between a couple. But what you have produced is some of them are like, you know, catalogue, you know, I mean, for instance, that lady who is doing the makeup as she's getting ready for her wedding, could be, you know, an advert in a magazine for makeup, for instance.
Yes.
You know, it's such that quality of the photography and that unusual aspect that you've given to it. I think, you know, Debbie said this is Danny McDermid photography there. Are you now building up a name for yourself on the island of Cyprus, where obviously happy couples go back and recommend you to other people, and now wedding photographers or wedding planners, should I say? Sorry, I repeat, wedding planners now want you above maybe other people because of your standard of work?
Well, I'd like, with the number of bookings that I'm having, they're increasing each year, so I'd like to think that I am getting a better reputation. And you know, you're also developing, you're always learning new skills, and you're getting new concepts coming in. And we do specialise also now and do something a bit different on the island, where we do weddings and we do video clips with it. And it's something that's called fusion. So we do, you go and do a video clip of the photographs. So it's like bringing the photographs to life, as one of the brides described it to me. She goes, I loved your work because you brought your photographs to life.
Yeah.
And I thought that's a nice way to describe it. And it's something that I've seen at a concept back in the UK at one of the seminars. And I thought I really liked that. And so just little video clips of all through, and there is examples on my website of the fusion video, where it's videos and photographs put together. And so we're doing a lot of that.
Brilliant, brilliant. And as we can see now, here is that lovely bride doing her makeup. Yes. And you can sort of like, you know, be with the bride or the couple for as long as they want.
Whatever we're doing. I like to meet them before the day, because on the day it's their wedding day, and you know, they're all hyped up and excited about getting married. So if I can meet them the day before or a few days before, I've met some people this year who's coming back next year to get married, and it just breaks down that ice and it breaks down that barrier, so we can build a bit of a relationship, because it's hard to get a photograph out of somebody that doesn't want to get the photograph taken. So if you break that barrier down and use a few jokes, corny jokes, whatever it is, and break that and make them feel comfortable, then I'm going to get a natural looking person than somebody that's got a rabbit stuck in headlights. And that's what they want in their day, is the natural photographs. Yeah,
obviously they want to feel comfortable with you there, and as a friend more than a stranger or a photographer. Explain this photograph to us, Danny, because this one very, very unusual. We've got lights, we've got sparks. It looks like, you know, fireworks, but what's going on here in the photograph?
I've got to be honest, I didn't take that photograph, I'm in that photograph.
Really? Okay.
It's me that's doing the sparks. When I was in Decalia, I run courses, I teach photography as well. And it's just a bit of fun. And what you got to do, it teaches students how to use long exposures. Right. As opposed to just taking a quick photograph, using tripods, using the light, using the ambient light and getting the light. So there's a lot of different skills in there. And we normally do that at the end of the course, is we'll go and do a photograph like that. And it's called orbing. And it's used, well, it's no secret because you can find it on the internet and how to do it, is you get a whisk and then you'll put wire wool inside it. It's got to be fine wire wool inside it. Then you put the whisk on a chain, okay? Now, believe it or not, wire wool actually burns. So you can set fire to wire wool, which you think is metal and it burns. So you set the fire to the wire wool, then what you do is you have it like a chain. And as you spin the chain, the parts of the wire wool will fly out. From, so the strands that you see is that the wire wool flying out, which is still a light. Right. And then the orb, and then as you do it, you gradually walk around slowly. And as you walk around slowly, the camera, because it's on for a long exposure, 20, 30 seconds, the camera will pick up that exposure and it'll burn it onto the sensor, and then you'll end up with a photograph like that. Fantastic.
I think, you know, we learn something new every day, they say. You know, we're learning a lot now from you in this short interview. Now, Danny, a lot of people here in North Cyprus are also interested in landscapes and nature photography. I mean, well, there are lots of photographs of birds and animals. I mean, are you interested in anything like that? Are you not really into nature photography?
I'm not really into nature photography, to be honest, but I can see what's beautiful about it. You need a lot of patience to go out with a camera and sit for 4 hours and wait for a bird to come along. Then you've got to be excited about the birds. I'm not really excited. I love looking at a beautiful bird. And back in UK, I used to have a little bird tree, you know, a bird, you know, you come and feed the birds. Yeah. And that's great, but there's only so many things you can do. There's also, I do like macro photography, when you get nice and close with bugs. And I've got a fantastic friend, Michelle Whitmore, does great macro stuff. But I've never really got into that either. There's just so many different genres of photography. I like shooting people. I like the interaction you get with people. And you know, I've made so many new friends through photography by that. It's great.
Also, I was told by my colleague and the lady who introduced us, Denise Phillips, who interviewed you for the radio. She said to me about drone photography. You're actually using drones and, you know, obviously, you know, different shots.
Yeah, it's once again, it's moving forward with the future. You know, there's a company in America called DJI that make these fantastic drones, and they've got a high definition camera on the front of it now. And the quality you get from it is fantastic. And it's taken a different shot. We spoke before about the love heart. Yeah. So you do love heart. If you have 40 people standing at eye level,
which we can see now at the moment.
Okay, you're never going to get that photograph from eye level. So you have to get elevated. So to get elevated, you got to go up. So the drone, by taking it from the sky, is something that's just a bit special. And when you go to Belapes, you'll see my Facebook page. We put a clip up there from Belapes. You can get the drone that comes out, and if you have the love heart, so you have the shot of just a small love heart, then as the drone's coming back, you see the love heart bigger and bigger and bigger. Then it fills out. Then you see the beautiful monastery of the abbey, and then it goes further back out, and then you see all the village in the background. You see the hills in the background, and it's just fantastic. And it's just you know, it's for me, it's the next stage of what photography is going to be and videography is using these drones. And the quality you get from them is just great. I mean, I love that photograph with the love heart and the smiling faces. It is hard to put it together sometimes, because if you try to do it at the end of the wedding when they've all had a few drinks and try to get them to stand there for 30 seconds and they want to speak to the mate across there, that can be a bit of a challenge. It's a bit of fun, but we do get there, and it's a very popular request from our brides and grooms to have the love heart.
Very original, and I think an excellent idea that, you know, Tartan Heart Photography has really put into everyone's mind now. If you want to do Tartan Heart Photography, you talk to Danny McDermid. Danny, aside from all this, could anybody maybe request to hire you for any other occasion, if there's a special event, or maybe a location that needs, you know, different photographs? I mean, are you willing to do any work?
We do also. We also do event photography, where we've got a portable click system, Mitsubishi click system, where we come along, and it's especially for balls or galas, and when people get dressed up, the ladies get dressed up in long dresses, they want to get a nice photograph. But they come along, I take the photograph, it's automatically wirelessly sent to the computer screen. They do the photographs, they have a look at the computer screen. If they like it, they buy it and they take it away in the evening. If they don't like it, they walk away, and you know, I've lost a bit of time, but there's nothing else in that. And that's very, very popular as well for big occasions, and especially at Christmas functions and summer balls that they have with you know, with that. And we do that. There's other commissions. I just 2 days ago I was doing an album cover shoot. There's a singer who wanted me to do his album cover shoot. So we got the concept. He told me what he was thinking about. I told him what I was thinking about. We worked together on that, got the concept right. And you know, I sent him the photographs last night, and I got a nice message back saying they're fantastic. He got photos there that he's going to use for his album. So that's nice. So I'm looking forward to it. So Don Mike Holmes, if you see buy his album, I've done his album cover.
Fantastic.
So that's it. So it's always nice to do something different. And you know, don't make every day the same. No Groundhog Day, you know, and it's nice, and it's great.
I think you're probably busier now than you were when you were back in the army.
Well, there's something to say about that, yeah. You know, it's.
But you're certainly, you might be retired from the army, but you're certainly busy still doing what you know you love the most. Let's speak about contact. Now, we mentioned Facebook. Do you have a website, or is it just all on Facebook? No,
not at all. We do a lot of work through Facebook, but I do also have a website, which is www.tartanheartphotography.com. Nice and easy. And
is that where they can contact you as well?
Yeah, there's a contact link there. You can put a contact, send an email, and I'll reply to the email, or just send a message on Facebook, become friends on Facebook, and do that. You know, either way.
The season for the weddings is now coming to a close. I mean, you know, what with you know, the cooler weather coming around the corner. For next year, I mean, how much in advance, if there is any wedding couple watching now who are thinking of getting married next year in Cyprus and would like to hire you, do they need to book you? How far in advance do they need to go?
Well, it's really, really surprising how far in advance people can get organised. I've had to cancel, well, not cancel, I've had to turn down 2 weddings for 2017 because I'm already booked.
2017?
2017.
That's a good one.
And I don't know what it is about the 27th of May next year, but the 27th of May next year, I originally got booked from Grace. You booked for your wedding, but since then I've had 5 other people try to book me for the 27th of May. So you know, don't get me wrong, the 26th of May is free, the 28th of May is free, but the 27th of May it's a bank holiday weekend, I believe, because I just cannot work out what's so special about that day.
Yeah.
But you know, it depends. I've got a lot of bookings in for next year, and I've got bookings in for 2017, and if we're free, we're free. If we're not, then we only take one booking on a day. We don't do 2, and we only do 3 a week to make sure that we get enough time to do the work. Because it's not just doing the wedding; it's the processing as well afterwards. Because you do the wedding and you've got to do all the photographs. Because at a wedding, I'll take around 1,400 photographs. And I have to go through every 1,400 photographs to see which ones I want. You know, if Auntie Jean's got her eyes closed or whatever, then I discard it. But all the good ones, I'll edit them and give them to the bride. You know, some people can end up with over 1,000 photographs that have all been edited. So it's a long, long process. You don't give an album at the end, do you? Do you hand them a CD of the photographs that you're taking? They can have an album if they want. With social media, people are tending... If you've been married, you've got your album normally, and it goes up in the cupboard and goes in the attic, and you never see it again. People want social media, and so we do. Well, I like to think is a really nice thing is we do a wedding app. So the bride and groom will get their own special wedding app. So for instance, if you were going to get married with your bride, I would do all your photographs, and I would send you 2 buttons to press. One is to download the wedding app, which is your wedding app, and the second button is to push to download the photographs that will be in your wedding app, and your video slideshow will be in there. So your wedding album will be on your iPad, will be in your iPhone, will be in your Android phone, wherever you go, and then you can download it from there.
Wow, very unusual, very unique system. I haven't heard of that one. I mean, I've seen people, you know, obviously, you know, you can give an album if they want an album of the best photographs of the day. But also, again, you know, you can give a CD of the, you know, 2 or 3 CDs of all the photographs. But an application is the first time I've heard.
Thank you very much.
So well done for that. I think that's very, very handy because a lot of people, as you say, want to share. And everyone's got their smartphones and their tablets.
And the thing with the wedding app as well is when they have the photographs, when they see the photograph, they can download it, they can share it on Facebook, they can send it to a friend, they can email it, they can Twitter it, they can Pinterest it, they can do whatever they want with that photograph on their hand immediately.
Yeah.
And it's also, we're doing a lot of weddings for couples who are in UK. It also breaks down the time for the post delivery to get to UK. Because when I done it this morning, I uploaded a video from last night, from last week. The bride has her wedding reception back in UK on a Saturday night, and now she's got all her photographs and she's got a video slideshow waiting to show her friends on Saturday night, just by looking at her app.
Modern technology, amazing what you can do.
Yeah.
Do you ever think about holding an exhibition of some of your favourite photographs? I mean, we've seen a great range. I mean, we've been talking, obviously the main thing we've been talking about in this interview has been about wedding photography, which makes up the majority of your work at the moment. But we've seen, you know, lots of other different photographs that you've taken, especially, you know, the lightning and things like that. You must have like, you know, some amazing photographs that are favourite of yours that maybe could make up an exhibition.
I would love to have an exhibition, and I'd love to put one out there, but it's the cost. You know, where would I hold it? I did get offered to hold one in London once, but they wanted, here's the venue we can have, but we want you to pay X many thousands to put it in. Then you've got to take the gamble, put it in there, and if you sell your work, how much you sell it for, how much you get the money back for it. So it's that, I would love to hold an exhibition, and I'd love to do one about Cyprus, the story of Cyprus. You know, to just show photographs of Cyprus from around the island. That's why I've enjoyed this calendar, because some of these photographs have been taken in Paphos, some have been taken in Larnaca, you know, some have been taken in, you know, in Kyrenia. So it really is the whole island I've taken some of these photographs, and that's what I'd like to show, the beautiful, beautiful island of Cyprus.
Which is again quite unique, because normally you'd probably have a photographer based on one side of the island. And again, maybe it could be just dominant into certain areas. But you've actually, because of your link with Decalia, and I know that, you know, you go back and forth across the board quite a lot, even though that you do have a permanent home in the Guinea area. You're taking in the whole of the island in a way. So you've seen the best of everything.
Yes. Yes.
And so it's obviously interesting for you to make this album. When will this calendar be finished?
It'll be the 28th of November is the Caledonian Society. They're having a St Andrew's Day meal and dinner, so a big plug for that. And you know, Dennis Kizzy Hotel, and so it'll be on show that night, and that's the night. So it'll be released that night for you know, for people to order, buy, whatever they want to do, and all the money's going to go for the society. Nothing for me. It's all for them, and it's just to put some money in the coppers, so maybe they can put a bit more whiskey on the table for the dance, and I don't know. That's up to Scott Kennedy what he wants to do with it.
Excellent. So there you are. You've been forewarned now. You can get your calendars. Especially if you have a link to Scotland and Cyprus, great. So they'll be available on that night then.
Yes.
And of course, from you know, more information from your website.
Yes.
And great presents for the new year.
That's it. Yeah.
For 2016.
It's very traditional in Scotland. When you go to somebody's house for Hogmanay, as we call it, it's to take a gift. And you know, a gift is always, you know, my mother would always give a calendar. I always received a calendar from my mother, and with a little note written on the back, a little Scottish calendar.
Fantastic. So your calendar is ready for this year then?
Yes, I'll be there for 2016, yes.
Brilliant. Well, Danny, thank you very much for coming to our programme again today in your busy schedule. I know you're running around, you'll be going to the UK soon, but you know, you're back and forth here. And I just want to say thank you for sharing your photography, your artwork. Really, it's artwork.
Thank you.
With our viewers. I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much indeed.
And please keep us informed about what's going on, what photographs you're sharing. I'm sure I'll be looking at your website regularly to see who you've been photographing, what you've been up to. But thank you again for sharing all your stuff with us, and I look forward to seeing you again in the future.
Thank you very much indeed. It's been a pleasure being here. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
And with that, we've come to the end of a couple of conversation. That was an interesting interview with Danny McDermid. And don't forget, Tartan Heart Photography is the name of his website. And also you can find Danny on Facebook. He's got the page as well, Tartan Heart Photography. So check him out. And if you like his work, then why not hire him for a special event? Or if you're getting married soon, next year maybe, why not hire him? You could do much, much worse. He's a fantastic, fantastic photographer. You've just seen his work. With that, we wish you all a very safe and pleasant week. Until the next time we meet on a Cup of Conversation from me, John Ghazi. Take care and bye-bye.